what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and Twitter. The phrase "get woke, go broke." It's kind of happening to Twitter right now. It's one of the things that they're in this weird kind of turmoil, internal turmoil, where they want things to be a specific way, but they're ultimately finding every way they can to screw it up now because they've updated their terms of service and they can now ban users for dead naming or misgendering trans people. Now, I'm not saying that this is something that people should set out to do, right? A person who is trans doesn't want to be dead named, okay? And I talked about it the other day with that one turf blog being destroyed, being taken down off of WordPress because they dead named somebody, but they were doing it from the perspective of this person went to jail. This is their legal name. This is what they went to jail for. This is the name they were in jail at. And it's more talking about it from like a public safety perspective, discussing the case, which I think is open to the public at that point. That information is out there. They don't have to go by it in their personal life, but you can't also run from it. There's that. But Twitter is also making it so you can't even really bring that up anymore. And it's just, I guess I get it, but at the same time, it's like you're going to start banning people because they don't believe the same thing as others and they're going to be jerks. I thought that's why the mute and block feature existed. Anyway, it says here that Twitter has updated its terms of service regarding policies on hateful conduct. The update took place on October 27th, but it took a while for people to actually catch wind of the change. Over on the official rules and policies page, there's a link to hateful conduct page, which now features a section about dead naming transgender people, which is using the name to them assigned at birth. It reads, repeated and or non-consensual slurs, epithets, racist and sexist tropes, or other content that degrades someone. We prohibit targeting individuals with repeated slurs, tropes, and other content that intends to dehumanize, degrade, or reinforce negative or harmful stereotypes about a protected category. This includes targeted misgendering or demeaning of transgender individuals, which I guess I ultimately get, right? It says repeatedly and or non-consensual slurs. So is it repeated or is it one time? These are things. Some people out there, just to be a dick, might do it once, but is that enough to ban them off the platform? I mean, sure, a person who might do it once probably does have a tendency to be a general prick on Twitter, but isn't that also like the culture that Twitter has fostered? This is the thing I don't get about Twitter. They spent all these years kind of letting it be the wild, wild west that has resulted in a lot of really bad things happening to certain people, and yet they now want to sit there and rein it in. You can't let the genie out of the bottle for that many years and then not expect it to go hog wild when you try to control it. I mean, there's a reason why Twitter is losing users every single month. There's a reason why the stock price is going down. There's a reason why no one wants to buy them. This sort of thing is not ultimately going to help because it just causes more controversy, because it does feel like it's a poorly defined statement. Now, it says here that one question, this also means that you could repeatedly call someone they when their Twitter biography states Zer, could you also be banned for that? The change comes amidst a crackdown against feminists and TERF who have been dead naming and misgendering transgender folk because radical feminists and trans don't get along. If there's one thing that it will be funny to watch, it will be the trans the trans activists and the TERFs battle it out on Twitter. Again, that is quite frankly one of the only good things that ever come out of Twitter is that. Otherwise, it's all pretty terrible. It really is. It's all pretty terrible. But it says here, just recently, WordPress and Automatic began deleting, banning, and suspending radical feminist blogs that called out foul behavior of trans folks, shutting down their websites and forcing them off of WordPress platforms. Some of the feminists are pursuing legal action against WordPress, given that their company banned the blogs first and then updated the terms of service to reinforce the ban. Twitter was quick to follow, as noticed by a Kotaku and Ashton user who made a post on the subreddit outlining how radical feminist Megan Murphy was banned from Twitter. It appears the furthest fringe on the left is now getting rid of the radical fringe on the left in the continued purge of wrongthink against the Church of the Intersectional Inquisition. And again, this all has everything to do with social media predominantly being based in Silicon Valley and in that particular area. Now, listen, I'm not for harassment. I'm not for targeted harassment. None of that stuff. If a person wants to go by a pronoun, I generally don't care. It has no real impact on me. However, just like with what I said in regards to Chuck Wendig from a couple days ago, you cannot control someone else's opinion of you. You cannot control that, right? That is something that my therapist and I have talked about given the events of the recent months. And it's true. You can't, right? And so you just have to let it go. If someone wants to misgender you, let it go. You have to just let it go. Trying to control the narrative like that, trying to control people's opinion, trying to control the outcome of that, trying to force them into a box that they may not want to be in for whatever reason, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate, we don't know. You cannot sit there and do that, because all that's going to do is cause more problems. It furthers the divide. Now, I'm not saying that you have to like everyone online, that you have to agree with everyone online, that you have to, acknowledge or whatever. You can block and you mute people to the hell and back. That's your space, your platform in that regard. And you don't have to listen to anyone you don't want to, but you also can't control what people say. And you also can't control their access to certain things. And if you try to do that, it's not going to work out well for you. I'm just saying that's the case. So I understand why Twitter's doing this. It's also not good that Twitter's doing this. You don't want that. What you want is more conversation, not less conversation. But it needs to be targeted conversation. And when it comes out with this like hammer policy, when this ban policy, because of certain issues, all you're doing is giving the other side more ammo, because they're able to go out there, they're able to cry censorship, they're able to cry victimhood, and they wouldn't be wrong. And in that moment, then they have the ability to garner more sympathy to their cause, and that gives them more power. But then again, oftentimes the people that would want these rules enforced, they want that echo chamber. They want to be in that echo chamber, and they don't like anyone trying to creep on in from the outside. Or anyone questioning it on the inside, because they boot them and they ban them. So yeah, this is not going to go over well. This is dumb. And this is really dumb. And Twitter is just, again, this is proving itself to be a gigantic waste of time. But I leave it to you. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is going to end well for Twitter? Do you think that it's going to be fine? Do you think that it's just another reason to move on to another social media platform? If so, which other ones do you recommend? Let me know down in the comments. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been my channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe, and all that jazz. And have a good one, and peace out.